Welcome you to the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce's Business Academy. The Business Academy is a series of webinars and content we have designed to bring education and certification tools to businesses from across West Virginia. Now, members of the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce are your small business neighbors. Chamber members employ over half of our state's workforce and are found in every corner and region in West Virginia. And among those employers, workforce has consistently been a top issue of need. That's why we've teamed up with the West Virginia Community Technical College System to bring the series Building Your Workforce at Home. That's to learn more about state programs that connect employers of all sizes to colleges that help them fill both long and short-term workforce needs. We are thrilled to be joined by West Virginia Higher Education Chancellor, Dr. Sarah Tucker, Interim President of WVU Parkersburg, Dr. Torie Jackson, and Training Manager at Chemours, Todd to discuss their longstanding and successful Learn and Earn program between WVU Parkersburg and Chemours. Now, at the end of the presentation, we will have several minutes for Q&A, so please, as you have questions, just put them in the chat. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Chancellor Tucker. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Kaylin, and thank you to Steve Roberts and the Chamber. The Chamber has been just an incredible partner with higher education in the state of West Virginia. They tell our story as well as anyone else can. They understand that higher education is building the workforce for West Virginia's future and helping to grow its economy. And we really appreciate this opportunity to talk about some programs that are specific to community colleges here in the state. This offshoot of the Business Academy happened really because at the Business Summit this summer, we had a panel that included three business professionals who were able to talk through their relationships with community colleges in the state and how those relationships were helping them not just build, but maintain their workforce. And one of the things that came out of that program that sort of hit us loud and hard was that we have this incredible Learn and Earn program that all the community colleges know about. And we have more than 80 employers across the state who utilize it. But at the end of that panel, we got 8 employers that walked up to us and said, I want to do a Learn and Earn right now. And what that told us was that while we have this great program and while we know about it, we're not entirely certain that every single business that the Chamber represents knows about it. And we really want you all to understand it, how it works, so that you understand how we can help you build and grow your workforce. So I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of the Learn and Earn program. It is a 50-50 wage match between the state of West Virginia and business and industry. What it requires is that you have students who are going to a public community college in the state of West Virginia and are enrolled in a program of study. They can become interns for your company. Now, the way that that works and the way that that looks is really up to the community college and the company. In some instances, we'll have 10 weeks on, 10 weeks at school and 10 weeks at a plant. In some instances, we'll have 2 full days of instruction and then 3 full days, in a company doing the internship work. It's really a partnership between the company and the community college. So I don't want you to think that there are any set parameters around that. The only real set parameter that I have is that we don't want our interns getting coffee, right? I want the interns to be actively involved in the work that they would be doing with the company, getting that experience. There is no expectation of employment upon the end of the internship, but I will say that somewhere between 85 and upwards of 95% of those people get hired by the company or by a similar company upon graduation. It really is a terrific program. It's a way for you to get a long-term look at your potential new employees and to make sure that they fit in with your company's culture. So with that, I could continue to talk about it, but I think what's actually more important is for you all to hear from an employer who has worked with the Learn and Earn program for almost a decade now. So Todd Fox from Chemours is here to talk about his company and how they have used WVU at Parkersburg to really maximize the Learn and Earn program and make sure that they have the workforce that they need. So Todd, with that, would you mind talking a little bit about Chemours, your company, and your workforce needs?
Yeah, thank you, absolutely. I'm going to share a screen here. I've got a couple slide presentation. Just to talk a little bit about Chemours. So Chemours, really we say we're a 200-year-old startup company. So we were with DuPont DuPont split off to Chemours back in October of 2013 is when we started that. Moved forward to actual separating on July 1st, 2015. So Chemours is the chemistry side of the business. Number one in the market in fluoro products, TiO2, and then global supply of low emission products. The funny story is when we first split, we had to come up with a name. It took us about 3 years to come up with the name Chemours. And you can see there a little bit of detail about it, but Chem, based on that we are a chemical plant, and that's what we want to focus on. And then ours belongs to us. So it's our company, put the two together, and we come up with the Chemours name for the new company. The site itself here, and it's in Washington Works. A lot of people don't know it was this area where the plant was named after George Washington, who done the first surveys for the area. The site was constructed in 1948, nylon for filaments. It's still there today. Fishing line, mascara brushes, so forth. And then our fluoro products plant actually began in 1950. The site has about 2,000 acres of property, and the facility itself sits on about 172 acres. A lot of people don't know that we actually own the Blennerhassett Island. We lease it to the state of West Virginia for $1 a year for to go out and tour the mansion and do tours. Current employees, we're around 550 Chemours employees. We have about 75 contract employees, full-time residential support in our packaging areas. And then anywhere from 50 to 500 contractors, on a part-time basis when we do our annual shutdowns or our TARs at the site. We spend about $60 million in goods and service annually in the area, pay $3 million in annual property taxes. Replacement for our site is listed at about $1.6 billion, and we are the largest facility in the Chemours worldwide. We have 58 businesses, and we are still the largest here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Just a quickie, a lot of people don't understand the products we make, so we try to you get that out more and more and more. You can see at the bottom 5G, our products are in just about every piece of a cell phone. We just signed a new contract with iPhone to work on a shatterproof lens for the phone. So if you drop it, it won't shatter. Our products are used to seal the Statue of Liberty. And then at the top right there, our products were actually used when they built a lot of the buildings for the Ho Chi Minh Olympics in 2018. So products go into a lot of different products throughout the world.
So needless to say, Chemours is quite a large company in the state of West Virginia and has been a good partner to the state for a long time. Todd and I have known each other now for about a decade. And Todd, I'm wondering if you could sort of tell folks, how did you start working with Parkersburg? How did that relationship come about?
Absolutely. We, we're into our 10th year. So about 10 years ago, we were looking at our workforce, and we were in a position of having a very aging workforce. And really hadn't thought about any kind of pipeline to backfill as we needed, other than advertising in the paper. So that's when the Learn and Earn was. We'd done the work with the WVP for about 20 years. So I was out connected with the school a lot, and when this program come up, we got to talking about it. Said, well, that's a good fit. We can actually, in our case, the students go to school at. They do a 13-week and a 16-week rotation. So they go when we got one class out here at the school, we have another class at the plant on a work rotation. And we put them in our chemical operator positions. We like Dr. Tucker said earlier, we don't make them get coffee. They're right out in the production. We take them up to the point that we do have a lot of hazards. So we do we have some fresh breathing air on the site. So we let them do everything up till just to if there's an incident or something in the hazard, and we shelter them in place, make sure they're safe. But other than that, they do just anything in the job that our typical operator would do, and very successful with that.
And so when you think about the Learn and Earn program, what has been the biggest benefit to Chemours of the Learn and Earn program? And then I know the answer to the second part of this question, but I want you to tell everyone. And has it led to additional educational opportunities for your employees?
Oh, absolutely. So we've, in the 10 years, there's been 126 students come through the Learn and Earn program at WP. We've actually hired 65 of those. So we would have hired more. It's just we weren't in a hiring position, at certain times, so they'd slip away from us. With the new, so what we've done, we took that in and bring these employees in, and in the future, we've converted to a couple things we've done. First, we've converted to what we're calling the labor pool. So we're investing time in these employees. We're getting to know them. We get the time to evaluate them, make sure they're a good fit for us. For us as an employee, if that's really the type of work they want to do for a living. We have a few that fall out of that. So we've converted to a labor pool. So we don't want to let these guys get away. Even though we're not potentially hiring at that time, we're still going to hire a bunch of these people and put them in a labor pool. And then as we have retirements and movements in the plant, we'll already have a group of people ready to go, into the plant jobs. So as we've rolled this through over the last few years, our incumbent employees, this is kind of how it started, that we just hired these Learn and Earns, and they come in with really good skills. Typically we'd bring somebody off the street, they'd have to show them the difference in a valve, trace piping, really started at the bottom, where these Learn and Earn employees come in, they already understand valves and how they work and processes and how they work. So really they hit the ground running, and get them to training times reduced. I got an example of one of the last ones we hired in our last hiring group. He actually just finished the Learn and Earn program, got his certificate. He, young man, he come and it just so happened we were hiring. He went through our hiring process, got hired. He was actually able to go right back to the area of the plant where he completed his Learn and Earn program. And this is a job that typically takes about 6 months to train in. In his case, he was able to take his Learn and Earn knowledge, add it to the, some more specific stuff that's needed for the plant. And he was able to take his demonstrations and be turned loose working in the job within 1 month. So a typical job that would take us 6 months to train, Learn and Earn come in within a month. He was qualified on our overtime roster and doing the job independently on his own. So that's huge. That's huge. With that said, our employees on the site started asking, hey, these guys, these Learn and Earns get all this training. When are you going to do some training for us on the site? So we heard them and we talked about that. So what we've converted to now is we've took the Learn and Earn program, which is a 1-year certificate. We're going to convert it into a 2-year technical associate's degree, with part of that being the current Learn and Earn curriculum for the certificate. And then we're adding a little bit of maintenance, a little bit of E&I, some general education classes to make it actually a 2-year degree, and let our incumbent employees come back to school with the chance to get credit for past schooling. We're working through they get some credit for on-the-job work experience. And then to have a block of credit hours, we'll finish it out with the 2-year technical degree. And then our current incumbent employees will, have a 2-year technical degree. So that's pretty exciting there.
So I just want to recap that for the group in case I just want to make sure everyone hears everything that Todd just said. So the first thing is that not only does Chemours use the Learn and Earn program to think about new hires that they may want, but they're creating a labor pool so that when they have a retirement or when someone has to terminate employment, they have a group of people that they know are ready to go and ready to step into these jobs that they can call upon and hire in. He also said that the Learn and Earn program helped Chemours take someone who would typically take 6 months to be trained on the job, and that training went down to 1 month. Imagine the amount of time and money that saves your company if you're able to do that. And then the third thing that you brought up, Todd, was this idea that the Learn and Earn students are coming in with so many skills that your other employees were jealous. And your other employees said, hey, wait a minute, I want this additional information and knowledge too. And the way that Chemours has responded to that is Chemours has said that every single employee will earn an associate's degree through WVU at Parkersburg. Those individually are all amazing things. The fact that you can say all three at once is astounding, and I think bears repeating for the group so that people really understand how important this program has been to you and has been to your workforce.
Absolutely.
And I do also, in case I forget to do this later, I want to thank Chemours and Todd for what a wonderful partner they are and how great they have been to work with for such a long time. We really, really appreciate your partnership. So Todd, if you had to give advice to other employers who are on the call, who maybe haven't worked with their local community college or haven't worked with the Learn and Earn program, employers that are undoubtedly trying to fill their workforce needs, because we know companies all across the state are, what advice would you give to them today?
Yeah, I mean, advice I would, it's been so successful for us here in Parkersburg that we're actually working with our other sister and brother plants in North America to be able to share this process with inside our own company, for them to take advantage of it as well. So the thought around working with the school, getting I've got a chart I use when I talk to other sites. It kind of shows a progression of training from a new hire to a full qualified employee. And the Learn and Learn program really takes care of that basic learning that's at the bottom of the chart, which lets us bring them in, at a higher level, get them trained quicker on the job quicker. So share that across our own independent. A lot of our plants throughout the country, aren't lucky enough to have a community college close to them. So actually, we've been talking with a couple schools that are potentially looking at just coming straight to WVUP to do this, to get the training of a Learn and Earn program, not necessarily the funds of the state, but the concept of the Learn and Earn program, and actually take some of the classes here. Because as we're doing our incumbent employees, it's remote. So we do this on Zoom, just like we are today. They meet with the instructors. Instructors give them homework assignments. When we do the technical classes, they actually have to come out to the college and do some of the hands-on labs, in the lab facilities. But it's a starting point. You get with your college, understand it. I'm always available. People know how to get a hold of me. Work with your local college, get it started. Even if it's one or two, we also do Learn and Earns with our IT groups. We have 2 IT employees. We're talking through one now to do with our chemists, and then we're actually in the process of starting one with our mechanics. So we're going to try to fill our whole plant, all our open, our current positions with some kind of Learn and Earn as a pipeline or a feeder pool into the full-time job. So very cool stuff.
Okay, so Todd, you keep saying these things, and then I feel like I have to keep emphasizing them because they're too good, and you're throwing too many good things out at once. So the first is, you're telling me that the training that your local community college in the state of West Virginia gives you is so good that you're going to be bringing employees from other plants to West Virginia to get trained or you're going to bring schools to show the.
Well, no, they'll be able to do the remote part online like we are, and then the school has been talking with them about setting up labs at their plants, or at the if they do have a local college, helping them set up the lab facilities, and then actually do some train the trainers to help them learn how to do the work.
But so the quality of this training, I guess is my point, is so good. Absolutely. That you're wanting to replicate what West Virginia does across the country.
Absolutely.
Which is tremendous. The other thing that you talked about you just mentioned your IT employees. And I think this is really funny because I actually just had a conversation with this with the auto dealers this morning. So I think a lot of times companies think about, their primary employee as who they want to get trained through a Learn and Earn. But it's not the case, employers, that you have to take an entire class full of students, right? So it could be that you need somebody who's trained in IT, and your local community college has an IT program, and you could just take one student as a Learn and Earn student from that IT program to help fit your IT needs. The same is true across the board. Do you have needs in accounting? Do you have needs in marketing? Do you have needs in HR? And there are all of these programs that your local community college can help you build your workforce through with this Learn and Earn program. And I think that's one of the greatest benefits to it, is its flexibility and its ability to help employers all across their HR needs. So I think that's really, really terrific. Thank you, Todd. Torie, if you don't mind if I ask you a couple questions from the Parkersburg side. From the college standpoint, how does the process go when a company wants to partner with you on a program?
Sure, I would love to answer that. I also want to say we're so appreciative of Todd Fox. We feel like he's one of our employees now, and he looks great with the WVU Parkersburg background. So he can do that on all of his Zooms in the future. It's some great marketing for us. When we start to work with a company, it's really important that we understand what that company is like, and it's important that they understand what we're like. So in the best case scenarios, and this often happens, they come tour and they see the programs that we have. If it's something that's in our Applied Technical Center, if it's something in our Caperton Center or something on our main campus, then we have an opportunity for those folks to see what we have and the way that we educate their students. What we're able to do in a community and technical college that is so wonderful is provide so much hands-on learning for students. And we do this in so many different types of labs that it's really good for the companies to see the types of labs that we can train their students in. And then whenever possible, we also get to go to that company and see what the atmosphere is like where they are at. And that way we have a better understanding of the two different entities. Once we're able to do that, then we can decide, what program is a good match. Do we already have a program that can help this company train the employees the way that they need to be trained? And if we do, then we can start matching there. If we don't, it doesn't mean that it's over. What it means is we begin to see, what does this company need? What outcomes are they looking for, and skills do they need the employees to know? And then we can begin to build a short-term program that helps match those needs. So it's a really great opportunity for a community and technical college that not all colleges can do, and that we can help train a workforce through so many different ways, because we get to truly understand the companies in our area and help get more students ready to be employees.
That's great. Can you talk a little bit about how the Learn and Earn program has helped Parkersburg expand industry-informed curriculum? I know that's a term that you really like, Torie, and it's a term I like too. It's a little academic. I'm sorry, folks, but it is important to understand.
It is important, and I'll tell you what it means. Industry-informed curriculum is what I call what we do in most of our programs at WVU Parkersburg. And let me give you an example. If we send a group of students to work in a plant and we know that that's where they're going to go, and we train them for that facility, then they go work in that plant. If there's a point in time where the students aren't meeting the needs of that plant, maybe something has changed in the 2 years that they've been in college. Maybe they need to learn a new technology. Maybe a different skill needs to be applied for them to be successful at that plant. What we're able to do is have folks from the plant meet with our faculty members who teach in those programs, and they're able to help them understand what is needed in the industry to make the students, as I believe Todd said, they come in with really good skills. That was his quote. So we want to make sure that our students can come in with really good skills. To do that, we have to have conversations with industry. And once we have those conversations with industry, we can allow the new advancements or the changes to allow us to inform our curriculum. So you aren't going to see our faculty teaching the same thing that they taught 20 years ago, because in these fields, things change. So to keep up with the industry, we make sure that we have connections with companies like Chemours so that we know how to best have employees prepared for their jobs. So that's what I call industry-informed curriculum. I think it's very exciting, and we do it throughout the college curriculum. It's not just even in the technical areas, but we make sure that through those valuable advisory boards, and if any of you through the Chamber of Commerce and your businesses serve on advisory boards, thank you for that service. It's very important across all of your community and technical colleges in the state to help us inform our curriculum so that the students that we produce, the ones that we're investing a couple of years in, are able to enter your workforce, and as Todd already alluded to, be ready to work at such a faster pace.
Thank you. Can you talk a little bit, Torie, about what kind of impact in the community on businesses and on your students and graduates you've seen as a result of partnerships like the one that you have with Chemours?
Sure. I'd like to just remind everyone that we are a community college. And so what we do is to improve our community in every aspect. And when we do that, then we improve the economic development of the area. So all of it goes hand in hand, and it's so important. We see our students out in our community at basically every business that you go to. And that's so important because what we want to do, I think most of us want to do from a statewide level, is get really great people trained and then be able to keep them in West Virginia and in our communities. So the community colleges are working really hard to make sure that we are able to do that. It allows us to meet with more businesses. When we have successes like the program at Chemours, people are talking, people at other plants are talking. And in West Virginia, we have this new, I wouldn't call it new, but we have this drive right now to bring more economic development in. We have 7 counties in the area of WVU Parkersburg. So Jackson County is one of them. We know that a large plant has been announced to come into Jackson County. So what does that mean for them? Yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet with them and tell them about programs like the one at Chemours that we're doing. And that excites them because they know that when they hope to hire 200 employees someday, that they have a place for those folks to get trained. And so that allows all of our businesses to receive help. The Learn and Earn program is throughout all the students in our different types of curriculum. We have more than 50 degree programs here, and you can get students in all of those degree programs to serve at area businesses. It may be one student who's helping with marketing. It may be 2 students who are helping with accounting. There are so many different ways that a Learn and Earn can allow students to get real job experience. Why is that beneficial? Well, how do most people learn better? You can read things in a textbook and you can take a test and you can have knowledge, or you can apply that knowledge in a real work environment. And then you're so much more ready when it's time for you to accept that job to just do it and to do it well. And so we're very excited about those opportunities. We always look for more ways to partner in our community. And I think every community college president in West Virginia would say the same thing. So if you don't know us, please come meet us. And we would be happy to talk to you about all the different ways that our colleges can make our communities better.
Sorry, I had a moment trying to unmute myself there. Apologize for that, folks. So before we go to the Q&A section, Todd or Torie, do you all have anything else you want to say before we start taking some questions from the audience?
Todd, I think you should tell them real quickly what your title is at Chemours.
Oh, sorry. My actual title is Venture Leader. So that is, you're looking to expand. Right now, I'm focused 100% on capability of the employee. So
I love that title because
not venture capitalist, but venture capabilityist. How's that?
Yes, I love that title.
Well, and I also love that when we got on the call today, Todd told us that he was coming on the call from his Parkersburg office, from his WVU office.
Yeah, I'm live from my West Virginia, and really, that's been a blessing too, because we're so, I'm not gonna say it was easy. Having the Learn Earn program as a start to help build up to it, but now getting into this 2-year degree, that's why I have an office here. I spend a lot of time out here, working through the curriculums and, making sure and getting the curriculums finalized and all that. So it's some work, and it's just a lot easier to do if I'm here with them versus talking to them on the phone or texting or team meetings. Just we can knock things out a lot quicker.
It's part of efficiency of systems. And what Todd Fox and others have helped us realize in higher education is that we have a lot of processes that aren't always easy for everyone to understand and to go through. And he's helped us in so many ways realize how we can make those processes more efficient. So it's been really helpful from our side, because you mentioned a moment ago that industry informed curriculum sounds academic. Well, most of what we do can sometimes sound academic, and that's why we need those folks out there who remind us how to make it real.
Yeah.
So thank you both so much, and we're going to turn it over to Q&A here in just a minute, but I do want to make sure that you all are aware that the community college system is a system of 9 public community and technical colleges located throughout the state of West Virginia. The Learn and Earn program is available to all of them, so I think that there is a local community college in your back door. I hope that as we continue this program with the Chamber, that we will soon be able to talk about some of the things that the baccalaureate institutions are doing too, because I really do think that higher education in the state of West Virginia is punching above its weight right now. And so I'm really proud of all the work that's happening, and just want to emphasize that we have colleges all over the state that are able to meet your workforce needs, and we'll give you some contact information if you don't know where to start or who to reach out to here in a bit. But Kaylin, with that, do we have any questions?
Hey, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Chancellor Tucker, Torie, and Todd. This was such a great session, so informational, and congratulations on such a successful program. It really has me excited, and I know other chamber members are excited as well. My first question, of course, you brought it up, is if chamber members do want to look into this, get something started, where do they start? What does the process look like?
So if you have a relationship with your local community college already, I would just reach out to your local community college to ask that question. But if you do not, here is contact information for our Director of Workforce Development here in the state of West Virginia, Tiffany Ellis Williams. You'll see both her phone number and her email address. You can go to scan the QR code to go to our grants page so you can see all of the grant opportunities that are available to work with business and industry in the community colleges in the state. We will get back to you, or Tiffany will get back to you very quickly to make sure that we have hooked you up with the college that meets your needs and can help you build that workforce.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I do have a couple of questions coming in via text. And one is, are there any other programs of this kind in West Virginia? And if so, what are they? And if not, also what makes this program in particularly so unique?
So there aren't really any other programs like this, frankly, across the country. This is a program that the West Virginia legislature created. This is a program that the West Virginia legislature funds, and I could not be more thankful to them for doing that. The idea behind this program really started when we were thinking about the community college student. And so that student tends to be an adult student. And guess what adult students have? They have bills, and they have to be able to pay for them. And they can't just go to school and drop everything. But we also knew that we had to make sure that the curriculum that we were teaching was as connected to business and industry as possible. And so how do we do that? Well, you mix the two, right? You figure out a program that both helps pay for salaries, but also make sure that your company is very, very involved in the curriculum that you're teaching. And so as of right now, the Learn and Earn program is available for industry that's interested in working and partnering with your local community and technical college. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I have been making the pitch to the legislature that it would be great if we had a similar program for students involved in baccalaureate programs, because it is very difficult for me to have a conversation with a company and say, for this group of your employees, I can pay 50% of your wages, but for this group, I can't. And so really opening up those internship opportunities across the state, it gives our students the ability to see themselves being successful in the workforce in West Virginia. And isn't that the goal that we all have and that we all want? We want to keep our talent here. We don't want to keep having our talent leave the state. And this program provides the opportunity to connect our students with the workforce, with the companies, see themselves be successful in a job and be able to move up quickly. So right now, this is the only program like this. I hope that we see it expanded, is my long answer to your question.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Tucker. And I do have another question, and this is for everyone. As we've all heard here today, West Virginia is making strides that companies and colleges are trying to replicate across the country. I would like to know from each one of you, what is the one thing that you think is that you get the most benefit of out of this program? And Todd, if we can start with you.
Well, excuse me, on the company side, obviously it's being able to get employees that can hit the ground running and, are qualified to do the job quicker. In the past, we would, like the one example I give, a month to 6 months, if we'd hired somebody that didn't have that experience, we would have been looking at covering that position with an overtime or something for 5 months. So that just gives you an idea of how much money savings that actually was.
Fantastic.
And just while I'm talking, as far as the other end, it's a very simple process. As far as I keep just a simple spreadsheet of hours that they work. It's calculate how many hours they can work each rotation. And we've got a time clock. We just take a look and see how that they've got the hours covered. And I build a simple invoice to send to WUP. And, within a month, 6 weeks, the checks come in. It's just, we pay the full paycheck, and then the reimbursement comes right back into the same account. So very simple process on the backside.
Thank you. Torie?
So what I like to say is that it's exciting for us to be able to know that the students that are coming into our programs have a job that's basically waiting for them once they graduate. They're prepared for the workforce, and that means so much. They have so many possibilities to explore a lot of different avenues while they're in their program of study, and that allows them to be ready to jump into a workforce job right away, that they know that they can stay local, and they know that they're not just going to college because it's what somebody thought that they should do. So a lot of times higher education will get beat up a little bit because they say, well, you just want them to go to school and what are they going to do after that? And what about all these other jobs out here? Well, they need to remember that higher education is vast. We have so many applied degrees that exist within our systems that students can really, they can go become an electrician. They can go become a chemist. They can become so many different things and know that jobs are ready for them. And those relationships with companies allow us to be able to show students the job possibilities. And as a college president, it's so exciting to know that when those students, this weekend we celebrate graduation. As those students walk across the stage, so many of them have jobs to go to next week. And that is a good feeling to know that our students are getting a value for their education and they're seeing it right away.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Chancellor Tucker?
I'm going to have a hard time picking one, Kaylin. One of the things that I think is remarkable about this program is its flexibility. So it doesn't look one way. It looks the way that the company and the college need it to look in order for it to be successful. And I think that's really, really important. Too often we try to have one size fits all, and that just doesn't work. Chemours is a much larger company than a lot of other companies in the state of West Virginia, and what they need is going to be very different than what a mom and pop shop needs. And this program is flexible enough to meet all those needs. From the student side of this helps with retention. It's very challenging to get adult students, to get low-income students, to get first-generation students, which are most of our students in the state of West Virginia, across the finish line. They have competing priorities on their time and on their money. And it's very, very hard, even with all of the intention in the world, that a student wants to go into a program and finish. Maybe their kid gets sick. Maybe their parent gets sick. Maybe their car breaks down. Maybe something happens that gets in their way. What this program does is provides them real life work experience. It provides them a salary. It makes them see that their program is important to their end goal of employment. And it lets them see that there is an end goal of employment. So our students who are in the Learn and Earn program are more likely to be retained than the general population of our students, because they view their schooling as being embedded into their career. And for our students here in West Virginia, that's so important. I did a series of focus groups recently with recent high school students, and the way that people are thinking about going to college is fundamentally changing. When I went to college, I thought about what college I wanted to go to. I didn't think about the program that I wanted to be in. I didn't think about the job that I wanted to do afterwards. I thought about what city do I want to be in? What college do I want to go to? How much fun do I want to have? And it was way too much fun, by the way. And that's how I made my choice. I did not make my choice based upon my career. That is not what our students are telling us anymore. Now our students, at least I would say 60%, maybe more, are making their decision based upon what their job is going to be at the end of the day. So it's important for us, it's important for chamber members to understand that our high school students need to know that there are jobs available in the state of West Virginia. And then they need to be able to see how the path after high school matches up with them getting those jobs. And this program is one of a million ways to do it, but I think it's one of the best ways to do it.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Tucker, you and your office, Todd, Torie, WVU Parkersburg, and Chemours, for joining us here today and sharing all this information and great insight, real boots on the ground type of things. This will be available to rewatch on WVChamber.com. You can also reach out, if you have any questions, and we look forward to continuing the Building Your Workforce at Home series. And with that, again, just thank you so much to everyone here, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.